Okay, today on Trains with Don, we're going to do a little layout tour. I actually got a Marx passenger car, or a passenger set, I should say, out. Hoping to do a segment on some of the Marx stuff I got here coming up. But, figured I'd give a little tour of the layout here. If you've watched any of the previous videos, you've seen a little bit of it, but you might not have caught all of it, or you might have questions about what this or that is, So hopefully we can answer some of those questions and get you a good look at some things. And here we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start over here. A lot of people might go, wow, there's a lot of exposed wires here and there. I am terrible about making decisions on where to put stuff, and I move them around a lot. I hate drilling holes and then going, oh no, why did I do that? So for the most part, I don't mind having some exposed wires here and there. It also kind of gives a little bit more of a sort of older floor or carpet central, as some people call them, type of layout where you'd have the wire out. It doesn't really bother me, but that's the main reason I usually keep wires here and there. They're a little easier to get to, and I'm always moving stuff around. You have no idea where stuff might end up, but we'll start over here. This is one of the little Lionel pre-war whistle stations. It's literally just got a whistle like out of a tender jammed in it. It's pretty nice little unit, nice lithograph. The cars that I got around the layout are actually Tootsie Toys. They would be age appropriate. Most of these are out of the 30s. A couple of them over by the station are actually out of the 20s. Let's see here. We got some pre-war lamps. This here's one of the Lionel pre-war signal stations, or signal stands. You can actually wire those knife switches up to activate certain accessories. I thought about doing it, but then didn't wind up doing it. But yeah, those signal stands are very nice. That one is like a little bit of an earlier one. You can get later ones, I think, in like a white and red, pretty rare. On the corners of the layouts, I always keep these little Marx floodlights around. They're fantastic for lighting stuff up, and they look nice. They're just really nice units. I got the 165 log loader here, very common Lionel accessory. Made it pre-war, post-war. Got re-released a couple times in the modern era. Got the number 97 coal loader, really nice, super noisy. Again, pre-war, post-war. I think they've released it a few different times here and there in the modern era. One of my favorites, the 165 magnetic crane. Super noisy, ridiculously noisy. Pre-war only. In the post-war, they upgraded that to like a more of a modern, more plastic style cab on there and everything like that. Functionality more or less is the same, I would imagine. I don't have one. Probably never will have one. I'm more of like a tinplate pre-war kind of guy, if you hadn't guessed. But yeah, super noisy. The motor they actually put on those to actuate them is actually the 00 gauge Hudson motor. It's kind of interesting, weird little use for that. But yeah, it does function. I'll probably do a video one day where you get to see that. Definitely make sure you get the volume down for that video, as those things sound like gravel grinders. This here is one of the larger Lionel power stations. Not, of course, the biggest one, the big industrial one. But these actually served to function back in the day. You would put a transformer inside, and you can see there's cutouts in the back where some wires could be pulled out and used. And you'd actually put the transformer down in there, and you could pull the skylight out and use your transformer down in there. It was actually kind of a neat little idea. And then ringing around the layout, I got some of the telegraph poles. I think it adds a nice little touch. And then one of the little Lionel pre-war water towers. This is the silver one. Earlier ones, I believe, were like a green color. And then one of the coolest accessories I think you get pre-war is actually this little diner, which is actually made out of a 710 Pullman, I think was the number on those. I'm probably remembering it wrong. You can always double check anything I say, because chances are I don't remember. So it's pretty cool. It lights up. Here's the station complex I put together. We got a 115 Lionel station. This one here does have the auto train stop. I don't have it wired up. But you can see I got some of the Marx Main Street lamps around the goosenecks. I just thought they looked nice. And then rather tough to find scenic plot with the flag and everything. Mine's kind of rough, but hey, I got one. The flag on these is actually kind of cool because that mast is functional. You can actually hoist the flag up and down. And I'll zoom in. There's one of the Tootsie cars right there. That one's a taxi, I think. The other side's a mail truck. And then I got a row of the 165 platforms in there. You can see Lenny the Lion hiding down in there. It looks pretty cool. I definitely get why a lot of people like banking those up and making rows of them and doing multiple tracks around them. It just looks nice. Here's the little scenic park with the urn in there. I think mine's been retouched a little bit, but again, it's kind of a harder piece to find at times, so you know I'm not going to complain. We'll get to the housing here in a little bit. Here's one of the pre-war Lionel tunnels. Mine was modified by a previous owner to light up a little bit differently than you would expect. He actually punched holes in there behind the little houses, so the houses light up. Typically, the lighting is just two bulbs just kind of hanging in the middle of the tunnel to illuminate it. But you know, honestly, I think if you're gonna have it illuminating, you kind of see the light going through that house. It's kind of cooler to have it shine out of the houses and not just out of the tunnel. This here is a rather interesting little piece. A little bit harder to find also. This is the grove of trees. I forget the Lionel number for it at the moment. But yeah, that is just a pile of felt over there. I hear a lot of conflicting reports on what that's supposed to be. Some people say it's rock, some people say it's a pond. I have no idea. Kind of looks like snot to me, but either way. I kind of turned into a little dog park. As you can see, I put most of the little mini figs around there with their dogs. And then here, you can see on this side the scenic tunnel made out of like paper mache and similar materials like that. Real hard to find piece. It was designed for 031 track. My layout actually uses 042 track. You know, it took a little finagling, but I got it to squeeze in there. And you can see we got some folks over here playing ball. And then I got some of the pre-war Lionel little die-cast signs. 308, I think, is the part number. Or not the part number, the product number for those. But yeah. Okay, figured I'd pick the video back up on this side after I ducked down, because give you a little bit nicer view of the diner, the flagpole. The mini figs I got are actually modern Lionel production. I try to track down the pewter one, so they're at least made out of metal to keep it a little bit kind of in vogue with what's going on. Back in the pre-war era, the only metal figurines or anything Lionel offered were these gymongous guys. I think they were like 2 or 3 inches tall, or 3 inches tall, I think. You know, they didn't look too bad for standard gauge, but you know, for row gauge, they just look ridiculous. It looked like you'd have giants just all over. But down here is the country estate. These do illuminate. That one there, for some reason, those country, I think they called those a country estate. I think the product number was 911 on those. A little bit harder to find for some reason. Then here again, I believe they just usually call this one like the bungalow. These aren't too hard to find. It's also kind of an oddball too, because it's got lithography on it. If you ever notice, a lot of pre-war Lionel doesn't have a lot of lithography. I was reading somewhere, I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently Mr. Lionel did not like lithography too much on his toys. He thought they kind of made it look cheap or hokey. But, you know, I don't mind it on stuff, but, you know, to each their own. Then we got the other scenic plot over here. These ain't too hard to find. This one here has been retouched a little bit, so I don't know if the color scheme on it's original or not. But I put a bank of the number 35 little scale lamps along there. And this big area here, eventually, I'm hoping to put maybe 2 or 3 more scenic plots over here to make kind of a nice little residential area. But these scenic plots are kind of interesting. That's a lot of moss and rope and things of that nature. Those trees, they actually make those out of like a hemp rope. I forget the actual name of it, escapes me. But you wrap them around and form them with clay that you paint brown, and then they would fray the ends of them and dip them in like an oil-based green paint and flay them out a little bit more and let them dry, and there you go. And the flower bushes are about the same. And then those other trees, like the pine tree styles, literally just a loofah brush. You would just take a loofah, kind of shave it a little bit, give it a kind of a tree shape, and, you know, stick a stick in there and stick it in there and call it a tree, and gets the job done. As you can see, this I think this tunnel's a 123. As you can see, it's missing 2 of the trees. One's still there. It's got the house there. These things, the base is cardboard, so these warp kind of easy. Mine actually came in the box still, which is crazy, but you can get these in a lot bigger sizes. I think they offered them for both standard and the more scale size at the time. 072 Lionel track. Those things go for mad money. But, you know, that's the thing with this stuff. You know, a lot of it didn't survive. So, you know, there's a lot of common pieces. A lot of times you can track them down, and then there's this other stuff it's gonna take forever to get. You know, like this the flagpole here took quite a while to get, but yet the scenic plot over there with the urn on it, I was able to find one really quick. You just don't know what you're gonna find while you're out hunting this stuff. But oh, suppose you'd want to see how we power this bad boy. Just a ZW. I got the 2 loops on separate circuits, and then the accessories are mostly ran through this, and then I just got a Z1000 brick below the table, you know, an MTH unit, nothing special, just to keep the lights on and use some of these action accessories over here when I want. But yeah, this is the layout. You know, like I said, there's a couple pieces I want to add. Those things on the corner, kind of like fences, are eventually going to be fences. I want to put some kind of rails on the corners a little bit just in case, but haven't gotten there because I haven't quite decided what I want to do with those yet. So, you know, it's like they say, train layouts are never fully done. So thanks for coming along on this little tour. And like I said, I think we're going to be doing, I will probably be doing a segment on some Marx stuff here after a while. As you can see, I got the Marx scented smoke out, and I got a Marx train over there, so we'll be hammering that one out here soon. So thank you.